Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. My name is Conrad Kabus. As consumers build up their use of technology and utilities, producers and manufacturers have to build up their output on coal and other energies to meet their need. Coal and fossil fuel resources won't last forever though, and that's why producers and companies are now shifting over to renewable energy. Today is the last day of our three-part series on renewable energy, so stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Welcome back to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. This is our last episode of the Energy series on Farm Factor, and we thought no better way to wrap it up than with energy diversity. Energy diversity describes using multiple mediums for energy use, using renewable energy for solar panels, or even using water energy conservation tactics. Farm Factor recently traveled down to Hutchinson to attend the first annual Energy Expo at the Kansas State Fair. We caught up with several commissions and projects informing customers about renewable energy.
So energy efficiency, it's important for Kansans because the costs of energy are rising, right? We're in a rising utility cost environment. Energy efficiency allows us all to do more with less, and who wouldn't enjoy that? Be able to do more with less and save some money, save some natural resources at the same time.
Efficiency is a big factor in the rising cost of electricity and other energies consumed in the state. And that's why the government agencies and commissions are encouraging consumers to be more efficient with their use of energy.
The less we have to run our power plants, the less pollution that we have to produce. Obviously, that's good for everybody. It's good for the economy. It's good for the environment. It helps us be more competitive as a state, as a country. I mean, energy efficiency, it's positive. But simple tips, always shut your lights off if you're not in the room. Certainly switching to these newer technology, energy efficient light bulbs is always a good tip. A simple one that people don't think of very often is to unplug your appliances when they're not in use. Unplug your cell phone charger when that's not in use. Those appliances, even though they're off, you don't realize they draw a small amount of energy all the time from the grid. So just little things like that.
Dan Whistler is an environmental teacher at Sterling High School and expresses his opinion on diversity and energy with solar and wind energy.
One of the benefits, and it's kind of an all of the above in terms of electrical generation, we still need coal, we still need natural gas, all of those things, but using wind gives us more flexibility, and it's also a lot of ranchers and farmers are now seeing the benefits of solar. So like I say, from a standpoint of electrical generation, it's kind of like having diversity in a species or in an ecosystem. Energy diversity is good as well.
Other renewable energy mediums include biodiesel, renewable natural gas, and geothermal solutions.
One of the other unique, or I guess I should say a worthwhile, beneficial aspect renewable energy is geothermal. Tapping into the temperatures using soil, using the pipes or the soil temperatures that are more consistent year-round to help heat and cool as far as the buildings.
After the break, we explore more mediums consumers and producers can use in renewable energy. Stay tuned.
This hog is Hanover hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at beyondtheelevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Turn to a Central National Bank Ag Professional. You'll be in good company. They'll help you track expense lines, manage variable input costs, assess ground agreements, pick a crop protection plan. These times demand ag professionals. Central National Bank. You could profit from what they know. Ag operations run better on Central Time.
Central National Bank. Money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
This is Dr. Matt from Animal Medical Center in Great Bend with your equine vaccination tip this year. We've seen some increase in West Nile across the United States the last couple of years, and we believe a lot of this is due to lack of vaccinations. When we had bad West Nile, everyone was vaccinating, and now it seems like everybody seems to be backing off, or some people are slacking off on their vaccinations. Ideally, we would vaccinate them early in the spring before the mosquito season starts, and then boost that mid to late fall when we have our second resurgence of mosquitoes. So we need to be sure we're vaccinating them at least once a year. If they're in a heavily endemic mosquito and West Nile area, maybe twice a year would be better.
This segment is brought to you by Central National Bank. Put our ag professionals to work for you.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. My name is Conrad Kabus. We recently caught up with several producers and consumers at the Kansas Energy Conference in Topeka, Kansas, including Good Energy Solutions. Good Energy Solutions is a substantial energy company. They focus on solar thermal design and the installation of LED lighting in the central U.S. region.
We're installing solar photovoltaics on businesses and homes to reduce people's kilowatt hour usage every month, and this technology, it's long-term, might last 25 years or beyond. The technology is it's proven. It's not really that new of a technology. It's been around for over 50 years. The earliest solar panels were installed back in the 1950s, still producing power out in California. So really what we're doing is as the efficiencies get better for the equipment and the inverters and the electronics that are connected improve in their technologies over time, the efficiencies just keep getting better, and the costs have come down, and the finances keep getting better for homeowners and business owners.
Consumers and producers have unique needs and resources. Good Energy Solution can consult with you for a custom plan, and they can carry out that plan with seamless installation.
Yeah, we're seeing it across the board. Homeowners are getting more interested. We get more and more calls every month, almost month to month. We see an uptick in that. Commercially, when you start talking about systems at scale, the financials play, where the returns on investment make it a very good investment for any kind of business. We're seeing it in the ag space, where anywhere where you have space, roof space to mount the equipment on, and or land that you can ground mount these systems. And if you have the high energy usage, the systems are really a great investment.
They also have unique approaches for producers who engage in solar technology.
Well, certainly in the hog space, we've seen a lot of the pig producers doing this. We're actually up in Iowa. We've seen quite a bit of this. They have some additional incentives up there. We've done actually a lavender farm where the owners they wanted to put some solar into their on their barns there. So it wouldn't matter any kind of an agricultural facility would, anybody that uses electricity. These systems. Then we can also do solar hot water systems too. For something like a hog producer, that would be another good option for them if they're using electricity or propane to use to heat their water or their space heat.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
No matter where, no matter why, The Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. My name is Conrad Kabus. Today's episode is all about bringing unique ways of electricity to provide producers and consumers with power. Many producers have unique ways to tackle on-farm problems, especially Gail Fuller.
My name is Gail Fuller, and I have a 1,500-acre farm at Emporia, Kansas. And we've been 100% no-till since 1995 and started using renewable energies about 4 years ago.
Gail Fuller of Fuller Family Farms has set up several eco-friendly renewable energy mediums on his farm for several operation shores.
The renewable energies we're using on our location right now, mostly solar energy. We're using solar timers on our electric fence to open gates to move our livestock. We have a solar-powered portable pumping system we can pump water out of ponds or wells with. And just recently we've added a solar charger to our portable eggmobile that our chickens live in that actually opens and closes the door at sunrise and sunset.
As more consumers ask about where food comes from, Gail hopes to impress consumers about his operation.
A couple of reasons. One, as the cost of energy continues to go up, we like to be low input producers. And I think it's also just creates a good story for the consumer and for our customer that, we really do care about the planet and we want to do everything we can to be as sustainable as possible.
Gail's hopeful for the future and believes that his operations will grow on other producers.
The future for our farm is really exciting. I just hope I can live and last long enough to see it come to fruition. But our hope and our goal is to completely eliminate the use of pesticides and fertilizers through the use of no-till and the introduction of multi-species cover crops and livestock. We have the ability now to grow all of our own fertilizers, and with the increase in organic matter and the heavy mulch that we now leave with our cover crops, we're hoping we can either eliminate or drastically reduce our pesticide use.
Although it's not official yet, Gail is undergoing tests to see if products produced on his farm are significantly healthier for the consumer than on other operations.
Well, I think a lot of it, probably two reasons here. One of them, again, is the story that we can take to our customer. More and more people are wanting to know where their food is coming from. And this is a story the customer wants to hear. We're using renewable energy, we're cutting our pesticides, and we're also getting ready to start doing nutrient density testing on the products that we're growing. And we're going to show that the grain and the meat that we're producing is much better for you. So, I just think it's a great story to take to the consumer. And again, it's something that all producers need to be much, much more mindful that we live on a planet that is a dying planet. We're limited in our crude, we're limited in our phosphorus and things like that, and we need to start being much more mindful of how we're using everything.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
Now another gardening tip with Annette Jackson.
Fall is a great time to plant trees, shrubs, and perennials. Root development this fall means more growth with less watering next year. For faster root growth, always use Fertilome Root Stimulator. It is the only stimulator which contains IBA rooting hormone. Use Fertilome tree and shrub food after the plant has been planted for a month.
Save 25% now on Jackson's homegrown hardy perennials. Let Jackson's friendly staff help you select the best plants for your landscape.
This segment is brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. Rachel is a part of the CEP, or Kansas Climate Energy Project. CEP is a Kansas-based nonpartisan 501c3, working to find practical solutions for a clean energy future.
Well, with the Water and Energy Progress Initiative, it focuses on finding and sort of celebrating the stories of successful innovation. So, but it's not just with water, it's also energy, because they are intricately connected. Every drop of water you use uses energy, and every kilowatt of energy that's produced uses water. So we really look at it as a connection in agriculture and in businesses. And so we identify and celebrate Kansans who are using innovative methods to save both water and energy as a connected situation.
The CEP is dedicated to publishing farm operations that really help the environment.
And then we tell their stories. Basically, we do interviews with them. We go on farm and we do digital farmer ranch tours. We get the producer's perspective both on how their practices are saving them water and how they're saving them energy, but then also we focus on the element of progress, because a lot of times with innovation, like you're saying, people don't want to get behind it for a variety of reasons. They don't want to try new things. They might fail or this, that, or the other. And so we really feel that element of progress is very important for people who are thinking about maybe trying things like subsurface drip irrigation or solar panels for water pumping, for example, or cover crops, no-till, any of these things that can be a little intimidating. So we try to capture that element of progress to give really that personal side of it that might help other people. If you're a reader and you're thinking about, again, maybe adopting subsurface drip irrigation, and you read about one of our producers who uses SDI, and you see the processes that they went through to get to implementation, it might help you feel more comfortable trying it on your own. And also, we feel like celebrating these individuals as opposed to getting behind practices, we get behind individuals. That we feel like that kind of addresses the issue that every farm is different. There's not a one-size-fits-all approach for farming and ranching in Kansas.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here, now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Good morning and welcome back to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. The CEP, or Climate and Energy Project, is a Kansas-based, nonpartisan 501c3 working on finding practical solutions for a clean energy future. They focus on telling the personal story of producers in the state.
Well, I can happily name names because, again, it's a very person-centered project. There were 9 producers who won the awards last year, and this year we have 11 that will be featured, and they're featured each month in a case study on our website, waterandenergyprogress.org. And so the one that's right on top of my head right now is the person who's being featured for September, and his name is Mark Idle, and he has a farm out in Dighton, Kansas, which is a little bit west of Nest City. And so Mark was nominated for adopting subsurface drip irrigation and also some variable frequency drives to make his irrigation more efficient. And then he also had a wind turbine on his property. And so I went out and visited with him and learned about the ways that he was saving it. The subsurface drip is about 96% effective in the use. It's efficient, 96% effective efficiency-wise. And so it also reduces energy costs. So that's a perfect example. One of the people kind of think that irrigation is the low-hanging fruit for water and energy because it's the first thing you think about, because you pump the water up and then you're using the water. So with subsurface drip irrigation, so you say if you have one that's maybe even 90% efficient with the water use, it is about that much efficiency with the energy use as well, because there's less energy required to pump it. It's you don't need to pump it up and out. It's a lower demand.
Alan Hubbard is a rancher who uses practices that make water more available on his operation.
Another example would be Alan Hubbard, who will be featured in October. His case study will go live on October 1st. And he's a rancher. And his nomination basically focused on using these practices to make water more available. He wanted to do intensive rotational grazing, or mob grazing is another term for it. So the major holdups to rotational intensive grazing are generally going to be water and fencing. Fencing to have the internal fencing in the middle of the larger, more permanent fencing, and then water, because you have to have water for your livestock. So Mr. Hubbard and his family had a lot of rented ground, so they didn't want to spend a lot of their own personal money to improve rented ground. So they received cost share from NRCS and some other opportunities to do some sort of more manual labor, more labor-intensive improvements and less capital outlay to, say, developing streams so they could have more water sources. And then using maybe solar panels for the fencing. Most of the rotational grazers that I know use solar panels almost as a matter of course for their fencing, because it's so much more efficient and easier than, and cheaper than installing permanent fencing.
Thank you, I appreciate you.
Thank you for watching this episode of Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. For more of Farm Factor, or if you want to view this episode again, visit us on www.agaminkansas.com, or you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. So have a good day with good luck.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.